Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a good week so far. If you are new, my name is Kat. I am the nurse flipper. I am a full-time reseller out of North Florida. I quit nursing back in 2022 to do this full time and have not really looked back. Now, I will tell you the last week is one of the slower weeks we have had in quite a while. And with everything going on right now, that is not really surprising. However, we are not doing horrible. And I think a lot of that is due to cross posting. Etsy has really stepped up for us. We've had some decent sales on Poshmark as well. So they are making up where eBay is lacking. And typically eBay is our main platform. And it still is the highest this week. But Etsy is giving it a run for its money some days. So today is going to be bread and butter items between $20 and $50 that I've sold over the last week. These are going to be items that are easier to source and find. And there are some that sold fast, and there also are some that are a little bit longer tail. So I am going to show you a little bit of mix just to really keep it real and show you the reality of being an everything reseller. And sometimes that doesn't mean fast sales. So let's go ahead and take a look. We are going to start off here on my sales and analytics tab. This is part of List Perfectly, and it's one of my favorite things. It has honestly become my most looked at thing on List Perfectly, because I really love to see what percent is coming from what platform. So for the last week total, we're only at 42.49. That is not including Whatnot. I'm actually working with List Perfectly's tech support right now to try and get it fixed where Whatnot will pull in again. Right now it has not been, so you cannot see the total with that. But eBay's only at 56.2% of our sales, and normally it is at 70 to 80%. So that is definitely down. Etsy's coming in at 31% at $1,350. Poshmark isn't bad either, almost $500, 11%. Mercari, it's normal. Mercari's normally 3% or less. It's at 0.82. So we don't expect a ton from Mercari. It is doing what we expect it to. So we're going to take a look first at Mercari, then we'll move over to Etsy, then Posh, and then we will go on over to eBay. First up on Mercari, this is a vintage Sunbonnet Sue patchwork apron. I did put pattern tulips, cottage, and granny core. This one sold for $19.50. It has been listed about 7 to 8 months, and I only paid $1 for it. So it is going to be about a $15 profit after the fees. And we will take a look here. And we didn't do a ton of photographs on this one. And here you can see we're showing the length of the ties is actually 80 inches. So quite significant, plenty of room for this one to fit just about anybody. And a good sale, a good profit, though it's unbranded, it's vintage linen, so it did take a little while. The only other sale on Mercari is this Christian Louboutin empty shoebox, 12 by 10 by 4. This one sold for $28.80. It was posted and renewed back in October. We have actually had these boxes for 3 years now. We have just updated the inventory and posted a lot of them back out that had fell off. So I originally paid $3 per box for this, and this one's going to be close to a $20 profit after the fees. Watch for empty boxes because they can be big money makers. I will tell you, our Chanel as well as our Prada boxes sell super fast. The Louboutin have not been bad, but we had a ton of them. Look, here is a picture when they first came in. They actually are now down to just one single shelf. We have sold hundreds and hundreds of them over the years. So even though this particular one took a long time to sell, we have been in the profit on this lot for quite a long time. First up on Etsy is this pair of vintage Edinburgh crystal mini bud vases. These are only 4 inches tall. These did take over a year to sell. Clear glass and crystal for me, unless you've got a big name brand, is a pretty tough sell. and I don't pick up a ton of it. These sold for $42.49. I only paid a couple of dollars for them, so they're about a $32 to $33 profit. And we also didn't do a ton of pictures. And I know I keep saying that, and I haven't really said that in the past. But while my friend Trish was here, she showed me like a quality listings report. And basically, most of these platforms want about 8 pictures minimum. Even if you repeat the pictures, if you have 8 or more, your listings will show up higher in the search results. So keep that in mind as you're taking photos. Again, even if it, like we could have took a picture of a single one for the other 4 and had more photos that could have got this listing seen better. Next up is this pretty cool jazz musician brooch, and this one sold really fast. It sold in under a month for $42.49. I only paid $2 for this in a costume jewelry lot. So this one's another one, about a $34 to $35 profit. This one is by Liz Tech, and I will show you that signature. You can see it there on the head, but we do zoom in to show it. You can see there, Ben, I think his last name is Nikki. And it is a little over 3 inches. It is 10 grams. So again, here we didn't hit that 8 photo. And I'm really trying to impress to my employee that we want to start doing that. And hopefully that will help our sales a bit. Next up is this vintage Mercury glass bird clip-on Christmas ornament tail. I put 6 inches, silver, red, and yellow. Sold for $25.49. I paid $2 for this one. So it is about a $16 to $17 profit. This one took about 3 months to sell. So not too bad. I sell single ornaments quite a bit. If you haven't done it, definitely try it, especially like the clip-on ones. They are very, very popular and have done very, very well for me individually. Speaking of individual ornaments, this is another individual ornament. This one sold for almost $30 though. Same $2 into this one. So this one is going to be about a $23 profit. And this is simply a Mercury glass bell ornament. You can see I put Germany floral, red, and green. And here we will take a look at it. And we are showing everything that needs to be seen. We're still not hitting that 8 photos. But again, I think we're going to try and just copy some of the photos to get it to where we are hitting the 8 photos that most of the platforms are wanting. Next up, this is kind of funny because this one, the buyer was trying to get me to go lower on eBay and I would not because I had just listed it. And they found that I was doing a 20% off sale on Etsy, which the fees are a little bit less on Etsy. That is why I am okay doing that. I will tell you though, I have dropped my sale from 20% down to 15% currently. So this is a Suzanne Bellows signed mixed material bead and fabric choker necklace. I did put green and blue. It sold for $33.99 in just a couple of weeks. I paid $5 for this one. So it is going to be about a $22 profit. And it was the same buyer name. That's how I knew it was the same one. And it looks like on this one we did hit the recommended amount. There you can see that Bellows signature. We are showing the length. It was 24 inches. And there it is on the scale. So a good sale. Some of her more unique kind of out there pieces can sell for a little bit more than this. So definitely keep your eye out for Suzanne Bellows. Next up, this is a Brutalist Abstract Artisan silver ring, size 7.5, handmade textured. This one sold in under a week. It sold really fast. I did pay $10 for this one. So it is going to be about a $26 profit after the fees. And this one was not signed. Whoa, I keep hitting that button. But it was definitely handmade. You can see the sterling stamp there. Definitely an artisan piece. Really, really cool ring. And this one was a great sale. And again, very, very fast. I feel like the brutalist and modernist looks are doing very, very well right now. Next up, and all of these sales under 50 kind of have me wondering if I should rethink my primarily putting $50 and higher items on Etsy, because I've been selling quite a few under. So this is a vintage 1960s sterling silver tie clip. I did put etched and Father's Day gift, sold for $25.49. I paid $5, so this one's a $16 profit. This one took about 4 months, so a little bit longer to sell. And here you can see that sterling stamp. And there is that clip, and it was 8 grams, and great sale on this one. And tie clips, even sterling ones, can be a little bit harder to sell. So I'm happy with how fast this one went. Next up is one that took a couple of months to sell. I actually accepted a little bit less than I wanted because sales have been so slow. So this one is a vintage sterling silver multi-stranded beaded etched bracelet. It is signed Italy, but it is not branded. They sent me an offer of $59.49. I accepted. I did pay $10 for this one, so it's about a $40 profit still. And again, I am having to really step back and look at things because the sales are quite a bit slower across the platforms, and take some offers that I normally wouldn't take because we still have a business that we need to maintain. So I don't think you should have any really hard, fast rule on offers. You have to kind of take a look at the big picture of what's going on. Next up are these vintage Navajo Ted Ott sterling silver and purple amethyst. These are triangle earrings. These are another one I accepted a little bit less than I wanted, but I am okay with that. They sold for $42.49. I paid $10 for these. So these are going to be about a $26 profit. And these took about 2.5 months to sell. You can see they are signed Ott sterling, and they are big. They're 1.5 inches, a little over 1.5 inches. So pretty big statement earrings, and a decent price, a decent offer. That is why I accepted it. Next up, and I haven't sold any of these in a while, and I absolutely love Mola, which is what this is. This is a Kuna Mola handcrafted multicolor rainbow textile fabric panel. It's 17.5 inches. This one took over 8 months to sell, sold for $33.99. I got it for $5, which is really cheap. Typically Mola is pretty expensive. So this one's about a $22 profit. And you can see we only have 3 photos on this one. So again, we are definitely going to try and increase our amount of photos. And this one is the last sale for Etsy. So now we're going to move over and take a look at 3 sales over on Poshmark. First on Poshmark, these are chili pepper chip and dip bowls. These are really, really cool. They are a set of 4. They sold for $30. These did take about a year to sell, so they took a while. And these payout was $24. I paid $1 each, so they are $20 profit, but they took forever. I think I still have either 4 or 8 of them left. So these are really, really cool. I probably would pick them up again because I think they're so cool. And you can see here, they had some wear to them, but really, really cool bowls. Next on Poshmark, I actually accepted an offer of $48 for this one. That's why it's in this video. I sold 2 that you'll see on the high dollar video on Friday as well over on eBay. Now, this is a empty necklace box set by Chanel. It does have the flower on the box. I accepted the $48 because I only paid $2 to $3 for these originally. Payout was $38, so it's a $35 profit. And these were one of the ones that were not listed. Now, we took them down because when we had the hurricanes, we actually had some water damage, and these boxes were some of what got wet. So we lost a few of them, and we never got a count and put them back up. So that is some stuff that inventory is helping us catch, and it's making us sales. So I'm really glad that we're doing it. Trish has left, and this has a really nice folding velvet case you can see here. Trish will be back next month, and I am continuing to slowly hammer away at the inventory, though I'm trying to catch up on all my other stuff now, because when she was here, we pretty much only did inventory. So once I catch up, I'll try and put probably an hour or 2 towards inventory each day. and hopefully make some progress before she comes back in April. But this one was a good profit. We do still have multiple available, but they have been selling very well since we got them back up. Last up for Poshmark before we move on over to eBay is this vintage scarab beetle bracelet. I do very, very well with all things scarab. This one sold for $40. The payout was $32. I paid $5, so it is a $27 profit. And this one sold in just a couple of months, so not too bad. And you can see here when you're zoomed in, that velvet looks so dirty. I really am trying to replace our velvet stands with some faux leather ones so we don't get that look. And this one was a great sale, pretty fast, and great price for being a costume piece. It was not sterling or gold. Moving over to eBay, and you can see tons of low days this month. It is not just here recently. Today we are at $49.16. The week is only $2,200 and we want $5,000 a week. We are at less than half of what we want. For the month, we are at $12,328, and the last 90 days we are down to $43,000. Not too long ago we were at $50,000. So it really is going down. Monday was $153. Sunday was only $313. Saturday was $144. Friday was a beautiful day at $926, but that does not make up for the rest of them being so low, unfortunately. Thursday was $168, and a week ago was $475. So kind of my minimum I want is $500 a day. However, realistically, we really would like to hit $750 a day, and we were doing that a lot for a while. However, here lately, it has just not been happening. So we're going to go ahead and take a look. I think there are about 14 or 15 sales that sold between 20 and 50 that make up part of that 2231. First up on eBay is this white gold Master Freemason lapel pin. It is 10 karat gold, but it is TT tiny. I know it looks big here in this picture, but I assure you it is not. So I accepted a best offer of $29. I actually was only $5 into this one. So it is going to be about a $20 profit. And here you can see the marking. Now this we knew was 10 karat from testing. You can see it is less than a gram. So I think that the price that we got is a fair price for it. And it took about 4 months to sell. This vintage Craftsman toolbox sold in just a month, and it is pretty beat up. And I accepted a best offer of $22.50 on this one. I got it in a big lot. I was just a couple of dollars in. So it's a $16 profit. Very, very fast. They did send me an offer of $20, but because it was newly listed, I stuck to my 10% off and I countered them at $22.50. So here you can see all of the measurements of this one. And again, it is beat up and still sold relatively fast for $22. These napkins took forever to sell. They sold for a best offer of $20. They are Avanti Antigua Seaside Coastal napkins. Got them at the thrift store for like $2. So they are about a $14 profit. And again, they took over a year. Took a long time to sell. I got them because if you know me, I love the coastal. I love that look, and these are beautiful napkins. If I used cloth napkins, I would have kept these, but I do not. And it is a good sale. However, it took a long time, and I have quit thrifting, so I won't be tempted to pick stuff up like this anymore. I will still thrift maybe if I'm on vacation or have to be driving by a store, but I am not going out specifically to thrift anymore. I'm mainly doing my online auctions. This pair of Rika I picked up at the thrift store. I think I paid $5 for these. They sold for a best offer of $35. So they're a $24 profit, and they took 3 months. So not too bad for shoes, in my opinion. And it looks like on these newer items, we are meeting that 8 photo minimum pretty consistently so far from what I've seen. So hopefully we'll continue to do that, because I do think that helps get you up in the search better. This Coca-Cola fabric took 9 months to sell, but it sold at full price of $39.99. This is another thrift store buy. I paid $5 for this. So it is going to be about a $26 profit. And I haven't done a ton of fabric, but I like getting fabric, and my mom has a ton. It looks like with this one, we didn't hit that minimum of the photos, but great sale. However, it took a while to go. Next up is this sterling silver turquoise filigree brooch. I did put Southwestern design. This one took 3 months to sell, sold for a full price of $40. I paid $5 for this one, so it is a $27 profit. And it is only 1.25 inches. It is a smaller one. It can be a pendant as well. I don't remember if I put that in my title. There you can see just a little over 1 inch. It was 6 grams though, so decent weight for being just 6 grams, or for being just 1.25 inches. So it was a thick, solid one. And I did put pendant in that title. So whenever you have that bail, make sure you put brooch and pendant, because that piece really can double and work as either. This Laurel Birch kitty cat bag took 6 months to sell. I put shoulder purse, pocketbook, canvas. It was new. I paid up for this. I paid $10 for it at the thrift store. So this one is going to be about a $24 profit. And it was super cute. I like Laurel Birch, and I feel like there you could see that the thrift tag there. It was brand new with the tag, so I didn't really feel like I could go wrong with this one. And you can see on the purses, we really do take a lot of pictures, and it did not have an MSRP, but clearly brand new and had never been used. And it took 6 months, but I don't think that's too bad for a purse. I absolutely love religious items, especially small ones like this. This is a wall-mounted holy water font. Jesus on the cross. I did put Henry religious and Catholic, sold for full price of $24.99. I am just a couple of dollars into this one, so it is going to be about a $17 profit. And this one took about 3 to 4 months, so not too bad. And this is just a plastic piece. I have done very, very well with them. It looks like we removed our tape measure so people couldn't see. I'm trying to watch those photos a little bit closer. It's really easy to kind of get in a rhythm and just go and not, really look at what you're doing. And unfortunately, I'm guilty of that quite often. This one is an excellent sale and an excellent profit, but it took over a year to sell. So this is a Florida Orthopedics XXL night splint, black and blue, living actively for plantar fasciitis. So I actually had plantar fasciitis for several years, and I knew how expensive these splints were. And I found this at the thrift store for just $2. So this one is a $38 profit, but it took over a year. And now the big thing with medical things like this is you have to make sure they don't say RX only, which this one did not. This is one you could buy like from Amazon or really any medical supply place. And when you have plantar fasciitis, you need these things to sleep in to keep your poor feet from stretching out at night. And great sale, again, long tail. And if I came across this, honestly, I probably would pick it up again because that's a great profit. This Siam sterling ring took about 5 months to sell. It's small though, it's size 5.5. Pretty simple design on this one. And honestly, the Siam sterling, in my experience, I don't want to say I don't do overly well. It sells, but it doesn't sell for a high value. So I paid $5 for this one. It is a $16 profit. But when I buy my sterling ring lots, I get some in there like this one that are plain and not going to sell for a ton. So I am okay with that though, because typically I will get at least 2 or 3 in those same lots that sell for higher dollar. Next up, this is a sterling silver parrot. I did put puffy brooch signed, and it was signed in F. I could not figure out who that artist was. I did pay $15 for this one in a sterling brooch lot, and that makes it about a $24 profit in 3 months. And we're trying to put in our exact cost. I am estimating when I tell you guys. But on this one, I paid $14.21. So I'm rounding up a little bit, But in 3 months, I do not think that is that bad of a profit, especially on jewelry that doesn't take up a bunch of space. Another religious item, this is a vintage Fatima devotional medal. It was silver and had a pearlescent back. I did put religious pendant in Germany. This one sold for a best offer of 20. I paid 5 for it. So this one's about an $11 to $12 profit, and it took about 3 months, so not too bad. There you can see the Fatima, and it was signed Germany there on the bottom. This one is almost 2 inches, and it was just under 6 grams. And great sale on this one. I love picking up the religious lots. These sold very, very fast for a $20 offer. And this is another one. I wanted that $22.50. Sales have been so low. I said, I'm going to just take it. This is silver and blue lucite, mid-century modern. I put boho clip-on earrings, decorative wave, and retro. So I accepted that $20 offer. I only paid a couple dollars for these though. So they're about a $14 profit after the fees. And here you can see they were absolutely gorgeous. I honestly was surprised that they weren't worth more. And I wasn't able to find the exact pair, so I just went ahead and priced them at $24.99. All right, that was everything. I hope you have enjoyed. I am glad we're getting some sales. You know, I mean, it's definitely lower than I want, but it could be a lot worse. So hopefully they will go back up. Gas is going through the roof. There's a lot going on, and I don't like to bring politics into my channel, so I don't really want to go there, but we're going to hope that the sales will pick back up. I really do appreciate you watching. I hope the rest of your week goes well. Watch out for a high dollar what sold video coming out Friday. And then I will also do a research video. I haven't decided what I'm going to do it on yet though, on Sunday.